In the aftermath of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, our country has reached a new boiling point, but now we have to ask ourselves, how did we get here? I mean, if we're being honest, the answer is Donald Trump. He has, without a doubt, brought out the worst in our country and our fellow Americans.
The crap out of him, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fee.
And introduced Trump. Trump spoke for about 30 or so minutes when a protester did interrupt.
He had some people, some rough guys like we have right in here, and they started punching back. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, they started punching back. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again. So I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. All right, get them out of here, please. Get them out. Get them out. Are you from Mexico? Are you from Mexico? Huh? Are you from Mexico? All right, yeah, get them out. Try not to hurt them. If you do, I'll defend you in court. Don't worry about it. Get that guy out of here. Get him out. Get that guy out of here. Oh, this is amazing. So much fun. I love it. I love it. We having a good time? USA. USA.
He's enabled many bad actors within the Republican Party, many of which have spiraled into spreading unhinged conspiracy theories to blame Democrats for pretty much everything. For instance, remember how Republicans laughed at and mocked Paul Pelosi after he was brutally attacked in his own home by a MAGA lunatic?
But I do want to push back on what David was saying about essentially saying that this is a problem that came from the Democratic side, and I would hope that we could take a little time off before we get to this. But the rhetoric out of the Republican side, out of Donald Trump himself or Don Jr. about the attack on Paul Pelosi, mocking him, making up a rumor that this was some gay sex event, right, and wasn't a terrible attack by someone who was politically motivated and could have taken his life. No. That is the genesis of this. This goes back to 2016.
Don Jr. even posted on Instagram to say, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready," which shows exactly how low we have sunk. And his father, Donald Trump, made sure to mock Paul Pelosi as well.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
This is how Donald Trump, the leader of the Republican Party, responds to the attempted murder of a Democrat's life. Absolutely disgusting. This is the complete opposite of Nancy Pelosi's empathetic response to Donald Trump after his assassination attempt. As one whose family has been the victim of political violence, I know firsthand that political violence of any kind has no place in our society. I thank God that former President Trump is safe. So when it comes to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, Republicans want to blame Democrats. People like Alex Jones said it was the deep state.
Until he gets sworn in January of 2025, is the 79 days of hell. The globalists have already said they're going to have civil unrest. They're going to call it a racial civil war. So let's be clear. Trump will now win in a landslide. No amount of fraud can override this. So if the deep state has already tried to kill him and indicted him and found him guilty and tried to take him off the ballot, what are they going to do? They are going to try to kill Trump. Now, listen to me carefully. I've studied the enemy. My predictions are 98% of the time accurate.
Really? 98%? Keep in mind that Alex Jones is making this video outside because he lost his studio and owes $1.5 billion for his false claims that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax with crisis actors.
And I'm saying this so we can be ahead of this and stop it. The next thing they're going to do is try to poison him and claim it's natural causes. It's got to be extremely vigilant. They'll also try to use the truck bomb. Okay? And if he goes back out in public, the same Secret Service that stood down is going to do it again. Now, the average Secret Service agent isn't part of this, but it's from the top, from the Biden administration.
This type of rhetoric is not a flash in the pan, it's a recurring act. We're talking about years of Trump loyalists and extremists stoking the fire to find an excuse to attack and kill their opposition. Back in January, Vivek Ramaswamy told Alex Jones that the deep state will eliminate Trump this summer if he's the nominee.
So what they want to do is they want to make this a two-horse race between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. She's a puppet who they can control. She'll keep the war machine on and the surveillance state on even more aggressively than Biden. They then want to narrow it down to those two this spring, knock Trump out one way or another. And at this point, these people will stop at nothing. And Alex, I mean nothing, to keep this man away. Eliminate Trump and then trot their puppet into the White House.
Then, 1 month later, Alex Jones, along with Trump loyalist and Russian asset Ivan Raiklin, discussed how assassinating Trump would be beneficial because it would lead to retaliatory assassinations. Making a deep state targeted list to execute a mass cleansing? Where have I heard that before? Oh, right. I mean, J.D. Vance did previously say that Trump was America's Hitler, but let's not forget what the orange wannabe dictator said at CPAC 2023 about being MAGA's retribution.
And if you put me back in the White House, their reign is over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Trump has been riling up his base ever since he first made his racist and xenophobic presidential announcement speech. And when you fast forward to 2024, Donald Trump is using violent rhetoric at his rallies to describe President Biden.
Joe Biden came to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to give the most vicious, hateful, and divisive speech ever delivered by an American president, vilifying 75 million citizens plus another probably 75 to 150, if we want to be accurate about it, as threats to democracy and as enemies of the state. You're all enemies of the state. He's an enemy of the state. You want to know the truth? His weakness, failure, and incompetence have set the world on fire. He is a threat to democracy. By the way, just by being so incompetent, he's a threat to democracy. His Marxist administration is pushing radical gender ideology into every school, and I'm sure this group is not particularly happy with that. And Crooked Joe has demonstrated an amazing ability to, he's just to demolish the rule of law.
Look, I don't know what's in the Republican Party's water, but they are too aggressive. They might want to try something that's a bit healthier, like today's sponsor, Field of Greens. A small regret is slouching in the dentist chair thinking, I should have brushed and flossed better. A big health regret is listening to your doctor and thinking, I should have paid attention to nutrition when I was younger. Better health today and when it matters most is why I take Field of Greens. Field of Greens is unlike any fruit and vegetable or green product. Field of Greens isn't watered down extracts. Field of Greens is an organic superfood. Each fruit and vegetable was selected by doctors to support vital body functions like heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, and immune system. And only Field of Greens is backed by a better health promise. At your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. Don't look back and say, I should have paid attention to nutrition when I was younger. Field of Greens is a key to better health today and when it matters most. Let's get you started with 15% off and free shipping. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code GABE. That's promo code GABE at fieldofgreens.com. Now, after the shooting, Marjorie Taylor Greene went to Twitter to say that this was all because the left wants a civil war. I'm sorry, but didn't Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, tell us that there will be a second American Revolution and it will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be?
Is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Oh, and don't forget, this is the same group behind the Fascist Project 2025 and Trump's carbon copy version, Agenda 47. And if you've listened to anything that Jones, Raiklin, Ramaswamy, Trump, or Roberts have said, they're the ones that want a civil war. Republicans are foaming at the mouth to relive their so-called good old days, which, by the way, will be pretty awkward for Ramaswamy. So please, do not forget what is at stake in this election, the very fabric of our democracy. And no, that is not a hyperbole. make sure to vote blue this November. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene also tried to blame the shooting on Democrats, which is comical since the FBI revealed that the shooter turned out to be 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, a registered Republican. Not only that, but according to his high school classmates, he had conservative views and had friends who were fairly conservative, some of whom would wear Trump hats.
Records show he is a registered Republican, and neighbors today told us that they've actually seen Trump signs outside of the home over the course of the last few years.
We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Do you hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Indeed, the shooter was them all along, another Republican white male with an AR-15 style weapon. Now, while we still don't know the shooter's motives, it could be for any number of reasons. Who knows? Maybe he was upset that Donald Trump tried to distance himself from Project 2025. Outside of the fact that the shooter had easy access to a gun, my real question is, where did he learn to resolve his issues with a gun? I mean, it couldn't possibly be from Republican lawmakers who have a weird fetish with their guns, right? Remember earlier how Marjorie Taylor Greene said the left wanted a civil war and that it was the Democrats' fault? Well, take a look at this.
I'm running to stop socialism. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
Today, we're going rhino hunting. The rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the stripes of cowardice.
Joni Ernst will take aim at wasteful spending. And once she sets her sights on Obamacare, Joni's gonna unload.
Our country has a deep problem with guns. When was the last time you saw Republicans interacting with their community, having a meal with their neighbors, or visiting their local businesses in their ads? It's now just guns, guns, and more guns. Or, according to Georgia Republican Candace Taylor, it's Jesus, guns, babies. Which sounds like a Christian nationalist parody, but sadly, it's real. She also thinks the earth is flat, so as you can see, she's giving old Marge a run for her money. So will Donald Trump take this near-death experience as an opportunity to actually call for unity and not just grift off it for merch, or will he double down on the violent rhetoric that he has done so much in the past? If I had to guess, Trump will mention unity in his RNC speech, but then he and his MAGA base will charge forward with even more divisive and violent rhetoric as the campaign continues. I mean, here they are at this year's RNC chanting fight, fight, fight. Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. What Was That is made possible by viewers like you. And if you'd like to support the show and help us grow, you can contribute to my Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. Thank you for your support. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?